Hello friends, welcome to my channel Sushant Chess Boys. Today we are at the next topic, that is the endgame studies explained, and we are at the 104th position of our topic. We have got a very interesting position here, slightly easy, but it has got some subtle points and very interesting things. White has very few moves to choose from. The black pawn is queening here, and that too with a check. It means white has to force things, and we see that rook d8 check gives nothing. The king will simply get to hide behind the rook on b6. White has to go with the move rook f1. My initial impression about the position was what's there looks very easy, because rook f1 check, kc2, rook takes a1. And I saw that after rook h6 check, h1 queens, but we get a winning endgame quickly. Let's see. Rook f1, kc2, rook takes a1. Rook h6 check, kg7, h1 queens, rook takes h1, rook takes h1, position has settled, and after a7 we see that the rook is compelled to go behind the passed pawn and the rook moves with a check. This is a typical technique. Once the rook moves with a check, the pawn promotes to queen, rook takes 8, rook takes 8, and white wins very easily. But black has another move which is far more complex than what it looks in this line. So after rook f1, kc2, rook a1, there is the very strong rook b1. Now things become somewhat complex, and white has to play very carefully. One move here and there and the position will become losing. Let's say for instance the move rook c8 check looks very logical at first, but after king b2 we suddenly realize that the a1 rook hangs, h1 is coming with a check, so rook takes b1, king takes b1, rook b8 check, and the king will simply hide on a1. And what happens here is after a7, h1 queen is check. So after queen check, the pawn on a7 would be lost and black will end up winning the game. So this was the first deadly trap. Now secondly, white has to deal with this pawn, so obvious move is rook a2 check. Now also things look quite easy. Black goes rook b2 forced. He cannot give up the h2 pawn. And here again white has some interesting moves to choose from. One is rook b2 check, which is similar to the previous line. Rook b2, kb2, rook b8 check, king a2 or a1. Again black wins. But here white has rook c8 check. And now there is a subtle point. If king goes to b3, then just rook a1. The h1 square is guarded. White himself has a7, 8, plus he is a rook up, so he wins very easily here. More problematic is the line kb1, when it looks like we have again reached the previous position. Rook b2, kb2, a7, then h1 queen check, and there again black wins. But here white has the winning move, rook a1 check. This is the main point of this study, this maneuver which leads to win. King takes a1 forced, rook c1 check, and here also there are a couple of points to look at. Firstly, rook b1 is there, and second is the move king a2. After king a2, it's very easy, just a7, and we see that there is no way to stop 8 check, and even h1 square is controlled, so nothing happens. Main move is rook b1, and here there is again chance for white to go wrong. There is the obvious rook b1 and there is a7. Also there is another move, rook h1, stopping the h pawn from queening. Let's investigate one by one. After rook b1, kb1, a7, h1 queens with check. So of course black wins. Very obvious looks a7, when it turns out that white should win the game, right? But a7 blunder. After h1 queen, rook takes h1, rook takes h1 check. Now the game is drawn because of the fact that this king has only hiding place from the rook checks, that is on the square a6. So if the king, let's say, escapes rook g7, rook g1, kf6, then rook g8 comes. So king has to come along the 7th rank. Rook f1, ke7, rook e1, kd7, rook d1, kc7, rook c1, kb7, rook b1 check, king a6. Black has the simple rook b2. After 8 queens, next move will be rook a2 check. Rook will be traded for the pawn on a7, and again the game is drawn. Thus the only move that wins is rook h1. Firstly, it stops h1 from queening. Secondly, he is threatening a7. After the move rook takes h1, which is almost forced. There is a7. So let's say rook g1 or kb2, both almost transposed. There is a8 queen, and after any rook move, rook c1 or d1, qb8 check, and the h2 pawn will be taken, and queen versus rook is generally an easy win. And the main problem here is that the rook on b1 is pinned, so moves like rook b6 and all don't exist. Any move like king a2 allows rook h2 to come with check. Next move a7 when the b8 square is guarded by the a7 pawn itself. So white wins easily. So it was a slightly tricky position with some nuances. I hope you will find the position useful and interesting. Thanks for your time.